welcome to chapter 25 of our exploration of Wuthering Heights, and this time I've remembered to change the number on this page, so well done me. I might go back and re-edit the last one, so if I have by the time you're watching this and I've corrected the previous one, then this won't make any sense, so I don't know. It doesn't matter really, but despite my bungling, please like, comment, subscribe, watch the other videos. And we will continue with chapter 25. Quite a short chapter here. It's just another step forward, really, or another step towards the death of Edgar Linton and Linton Heathcliff in many ways here, because their decline continues. But interestingly, we have the narrative is catching up to the present. So we've got Lockwood, obviously, he's listening to Nellie's story because we've got that structure in the novel, we've got the frame narration, and these things happened last winter, sir, hardly more than a year ago, so it's really catching up to the present really now. Then who knows how long you'll be a stranger. This is all quite weird actually, because Nellie, she's got pretty good intuition. She's worked out that Lockwood has the hots for young Catherine Linton. I subway fancy no one could see Catherine Linton and not love her. You smile, but why do you look so lively and interested when I talk about her? And why have you asked me to hang her picture over your fireplace? Bit creepy. But stop, my good friend. Lockwood, he was the prat in the early part of the novel, wasn't he? He was definitely portrayed as an outsider. He made loads of faux pas. He says the wrong thing, does the wrong thing. But actually, he is improving here. And I think there's a little bit of a sign here with this friendly term of address here. Stop, my good friend. That's definitely affectionate. An affectionate vocative, actually, isn't it? It may be very possible that I should love her, but would she love me? So he at least has the self-awareness to realise that she wouldn't be interested in him. So, fair enough. I'm of the busy world, and to its arms I must return. So there's a bit of personification there, and again, more indication that he's from probably London. He's from a city. He's from somewhere obviously more urban, more lively. So Catherine has been denied visiting young Linton Heathcliff, and she recounts a lot of the details here. And this is Edgar Linton. I wish my nephew would write Eleanor Call. Tell me sincerely what you think of him. Is he changed for the better, or is there a prospect of improvement as he grows a man? He's very delicate and scarcely likely to reach manhood. So health is always in question. Oh, the page went a bit weird then, didn't it? You may not see that. That might just been on my screen. Then I've prayed often, he half soliloquised, for the approach of what is coming, and now I begin to shrink and fear it. So we have a metaphor here about Edgar Linton's own reflections on his imminent death. He knows his health is worsening himself. I thought the memory of the hour I came down from that glen a bridegroom would be less sweet than the anticipation that I was soon, in a few months or possibly weeks, to be carried up and laid in its lonely hollow. So it's a bit strange really, but he's got his... So it's not exactly I was going to say death wish. It's not exactly a death wish, but there's a longing for at least the release that death would bring him from the pain that he's in, presumably in health, but I would also assume in emotional, because of his love for his late wife. And he would go and visit his mother's grave, as in Cathy's grave, so as the original Catherine Linton, and wishing, yearning, a bit of incrementum there, for the time when I might lie beneath it. I must persevere in making her sad while I live and leaving her solitary when I die. Darling, I'd rather resign her to God. He's not saying darling to Nellie, he's talking about young Cathy. I'd rather resign her to God and lay her in the earth before me. So he's worried about his daughter, and so as he's facing his death. Spring advanced, yet my master gathered no real strength. Spring is normally associated with obviously a rebirth and revitalisation, so that's deliberately juxtaposed there. The idea of him weakening. He resumed his walks in the grounds with his daughter. To her inexperienced notions, this itself was a sign of convalescence, and then his cheek was often flushed and his eyes were bright. She felt sure of his recovering, but he's not actually. Just appears to be better temporarily, but he's not really. He wrote again to Linton, expressing his great desire to see him, and had the invalid been presentable, I've no doubt his father would have permitted him to come. So this is really Edgar Linton wanted to meet up with Linton Heathcliff, but they're both too ill to actually visit each other properly. They can't really do this, but they don't really know. And young Linton Heathcliff wants to meet up with Catherine still. He affirms, I am more your nephew than his son. So that's Heathcliff talking of Linton Heathcliff saying that he's more like Edgar Linton. So that's a pretty simple one there. Edgar, though he felt for the boy, could not consent to grant his request because he could not accompany Catherine. It's actually for health reasons. He can't go up to Wuthering. He wouldn't go into Wuthering Heights anyway. But he said in summer they might meet, but it's his health is stopping him. The health is stopping them from both meeting up. And it's that Linton family weakness that we've seen several times. And we have, he had no idea that the latter was failing almost as fast as himself, nor had anyone, I believe. No doctor visited the Heights, and no one saw Master Heathcliff to make report of his condition among us. So there's neglect here from Heathcliff as a parent as well, because Linton Heathcliff is dying. Edgar Linton is also dying. It's a pretty miserable chapter. Then we have afterwards learned Heathcliff had treated him to compel his apparent eagerness. His efforts redoubling the more imminently his avariciousness and unfeeling plans were threatened with defeat by death. So Heathcliff gets more aggressive and more intimidating and more violent towards Linton Heathcliff because he's worried that he's going to die and stop his plans from coming to fruition. If he dies, he can't do that. He can't get hold of all the Thrushcross Grange and all the property of Edgar Linton and fully enact his revenge. So there you go. That was a pretty short chapter. So thank you for listening. I'm sorry about the goof on the last video with the number of the chapter. I'm going to try and fix that. Have a good day or night, whatever you are doing. And thank you for listening once more. Please like, subscribe, enjoy the other videos. Thank you very much. Goodbye.